Hello and welcome. My name is Erin L. Ferguson. I am an artist and illustrator, and this is going to be my vlog channel about creating the artwork for a 2D video game. About a year and a half ago, my brother and I decided we were finally going to take the plunge and make a game. We've been talking about doing it for a long time, at least a couple of years, maybe 3. We would always talk about, someday teaming up to make a game because I'm an artist, but he does programming and coding. And we thought between us, we could create something pretty cool. But, at the time, it's like we were in school and did not have free time, didn't have lives, basically. So about a year and a half ago, we finally got to a point of being grown-ups that we were, done with school and we had a little bit of free time and could finally devote ourselves to working on this thing. So we started working on a game, and it's finally getting to the point now that I feel like I actually have something to show. I've done a lot of artwork on my end. He's programmed a bunch of the gameplay on his end, so we actually have a very basic playable game. So I thought it'd be fun to start this vlog series just to show off, what we've been working on, and from here on out to show progress. And to start, I thought it would be fun to do a 5-day launch. So Monday through Friday this week, I'm going to be uploading a new video every day. So there'll be 5 in a row, just showing a lot of the stuff that we've done already. And then after that, it'll be a weekly-ish schedule. I will try and update roughly once a week. But today I thought it'd be kind of fun just to introduce the game. So I'm gonna show you some of the sprites and assets and things that I've created. And then tomorrow, I think I'll show you a bit of gameplay, show you what my brother has been working on. And so that you can actually see my art in action. Because I don't know how to make any of this stuff work. I just know how to draw the stuff, and he actually makes it work. And that's the exciting bit. So tomorrow I'll show off that cool stuff. But I think to start, let's go ahead and I'm just going to switch over to my screen, go over to VoiceOver, and show you what I've got. Okay, I am back, and I've got Photoshop open here so I can show you some of the artwork that and the sprites that we have created so far for this game. So Kingme is what we're calling a kingdom simulator. So it's sort of along the lines of Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, but with a medieval fantasy twist. So instead of just building a farm, you're building a whole kingdom. And so while there are farming mechanics, like taking care of crops and animals and that sort of thing, there's also, forming alliances with other kingdoms, and you'll have knights, and there will be raids and uprisings and plague. You've got to have plague, so there will be that. And so there's a lot more that goes into it than just building a farm. So I'm going to show you here what we have so far for the player characters. So we have a little king and queen here. You can choose to be either male or female. And eventually, we're hoping to make these guys fully customizable so that you can choose different skin tones, different hairstyles, hair colors, different outfits. But at the moment, this is what we have, and both of these guys are fully playable. I think tomorrow I will be actually showing you some gameplay. Today I'm just gonna sort of introduce the project briefly, and tomorrow I think I'll actually show you some things in action. But the premise of the game is that the player's father has died and left a kingdom in ruin, and you've just inherited it, and you need to bring it back to its former glory. So when you show up on this plot of land, which is much bigger than this. I'm just using this as a backdrop. But when you show up on your plot of land, the only things that are really going to be there are a really massively overgrown kingdom, just with trees and weeds and rocks, and this sad, sad little castle, which you will eventually be able to fix up and make look a little nicer. Let's see, Garth. Garth will be there. So Garth is the steward who has been taking care of this kingdom in your absence. He's been here for many, many years, and he's kind of a classic curmudgeon. He's not very nice. We actually really love him. But he he also acts as a tutorial character, so he kind of teaches you the ropes when you're first starting out. And the only other thing that'll really be there are maybe a few peasants, and I actually just spent all this last week making a whole bunch of peasants, so I'm going to be showing some of that, I think later this week, but if not soon, I'll show some of those peasants. And of course you've got this kingdom and you've got some peasants, and so you're going to have to start working the land And, you know, you've got to feed those peasants. They don't just work for free. You've got to feed them. And so one of the things you've got to do, of course, is grow crops. And you know what? I think this background is kind of in the way. Let's just get rid of it. Here we go. Okay, so here are just a very few of the, you know, crop sprites I've made. I think I'm going to show crops later this week as well. But I just want to show you, you know, we've got a corn stalk, a corn, potatoes, watering can. So if you've played, you know, any kind of a farm simulator before, you kind of already know what, you know, this stuff is for. The other thing is there is a resource gathering. So like I mentioned before, your kingdom is covered in rocks and trees, and you've got to convert that into lumber and stone that you can then use to build other things. So you're going to want to build like a tavern to raise the morale of your peasants, and maybe you want to do horse races, or maybe you need things like a blacksmith shop, that sort of thing. So in order to build those, you're going to need wood and stone, and I'm going to be showing resource gathering. I think that's tomorrow's video. Of course, the other thing is animals, and at the moment the only animal I have made thus far is this cow right here. But there are going to be other more non-traditional animals. Of course, there will be like cows and chickens and that sort of thing, but there's also going to be like dragons and unicorns and phoenixes. And maybe trolls. I think we might be doing trolls. I think that would just be funny. So you've got to, of course, raise your animals. And giant rats too. We thought that would be super funny if, as a very quick source of food for your peasants, you can raise giant rats. They reproduce really fast, and so you can butcher them and feed your peasants rat meat. They won't like it, but it'll keep them alive. So that made us laugh. So that's definitely gonna end up in the game. The other thing, so you're on this kingdom here, but you are not alone. You are surrounded by other kingdoms that you need to have, that you're going to have relationships with, basically. So there will be other human kingdoms, but there'll also be things like elves. I've made a bunch of these guys. I think I have 20 of them. Here's just a few of them. I like this guy with the mohawk. So there will be elves. There will also be some desert people here. Eventually we'll come up with names for all of these races. It'll happen. But here are some of our like desert warrior people. Again, I've made a bunch of these guys too. Mountain people. Gotta come up with a more clever name than mountain people. But oh, I love these guys. These are some of my favorites. And if you're so inclined and want to follow me on Instagram, I think I did post a little poster that I made of all of the little mountain people that I've made. There's 20 of them. That seems to be the magic number. So I made like 20 different little mountain people and put them on a little poster because I think they're super cute. And so if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's there. Erin L. Ferguson on Instagram. I'll try and remember to link it. No promises. Then we also have these like fire people, which I really like. No idea what these guys are going to be called either, but they have cool flames for hair, so you know they're cool. And so you're going to be surrounded by all of these kingdoms, and you're going to need to have good relationships with them, because ultimately one of the ultimate goals of the game is to unite the entire land under one flag, yours. And you can do that by different means. So one way that you can do it is by forming alliances, and that's through just having good relationships, because all of these races and all of the other human kingdoms are going to have access to things that you can't get. So they will have access to different crops, different animals, maybe mining areas, maybe fishing, things that you can't get yourself. So if you want to have access to those things, you need to be able to have a good relationship with the people who own that bit of land or who own that resource. And you do that, you know, through trade, through festivals, and through giving of gifts and other things like that. So that's one way that you can form alliances. Another one is through marriage. So yes, you can get married in this game. Some of the other kingdoms will have marriageable princes and princesses that if you marry them, then your kingdoms will be joined. And then, of course, there's the other way, which should be fun. If you just want to conquer the other kingdoms, you can do that too. So if you have enough knights and you have enough resources and you just want to go to war and just take what you want, that's also an option. Now, the other people that live in that kingdom may not like you very much, and there are consequences for that. There are uprisings and that sort of thing that can happen, and they might not work as hard for you. But, you know, it's always an option. So that's just kind of a brief overview of the game of King Me. Tomorrow I'll be showing a little bit of gameplay, so feel free to come back and see that. So if you liked what you see, feel free to subscribe. Like I said before, I'll be uploading a new video every weekday this week. So Monday through Friday, there will be 5 new videos by the end of the week, and then I'll continue to update on a roughly once a week kind of basis. So I hope you've enjoyed. I will see you hopefully tomorrow.